Almighty and merciful God, we thank Thee that we're getting together today to honor those who've served the United States of America. We recognize that one day they signed a document to give everything they have, including their lives, to keep this great country free. We ask you to remember those who paid the price of battle and came back to us disabled, came back to us with wounds both mental and physical. We ask in your name that we never forget the service of our veterans to this great, great country of ours. We ask this in your name. Amen.
Amen.
Cover. May we have the pledge? May we have the Pledge of Allegiance, please? And salute.
I pledge
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Two.
Now I'll introduce Andrew Garbarino.
Thank you very much, Commander. Hello, and thank you all for coming here today to honor some of our Vietnam veteran heroes. Being able to recognize our veterans, for their service is truly a privilege and one of the best parts of my job as a member of Congress. Veterans and their families have given so much for our nation. I'm glad that we can gather here today to give them our profound gratitude. Now some background on today's ceremony. The United States of America Vietnam War Commemoration was created as a national 50th anniversary commemoration presidential proclamation in 2012 and concludes on Veterans Day 2025, with its primary objective being to thank and honor our Vietnam veterans and their families for their service and sacrifice on behalf of our nation. I'm proud to partner with the United States of America Vietnam War Commemoration to present each of the Vietnam veterans here today with a commemorative lapel pin as well as a Congressional Certificate of Recognition from my office. Every Vietnam veteran who served on active duty in the U.S. Armed Forces at any time between November 1st, 1955 to May 15th, 1975, regardless of the location, are eligible to receive one lapel pin, and families of Vietnam veterans who have passed away are also eligible to receive a lapel pin. The pins are embossed with a bald eagle to symbolize the courage, honor, and dedication to service embodied by our veterans. The blue border and stripes represent our flag and signify vigilance, perseverance, and justice. The laurel wreath along the border represents victory, integrity, and strength. The 6 stars beside the eagle represent the United States and our 5 allies who served alongside one another: Australia, New Zealand, the Philippines, the Republic of Korea, and Thailand. And the message engraved on the back reads, "A grateful nation thanks and honors you," which illuminates why we are here today. There are over 230,000 Vietnam veterans in New York, including 75,000 on Long Island alone. We are privileged to have so many American heroes who call our 2nd Congressional District home. Today's ceremony is only the beginning. For those veterans that couldn't make it today, my office and I will continue to offer opportunities and receive these commemorative pins to any eligible veteran who wants one up until the 2025 deadline. Before we move forward, I want to thank AMVETS Post 18 for hosting us today, and the Long Island Chapter Air Force Association for being so involved in the planning of this event. I'd also like to thank Islip Town Supervisor Angie Carpenter, Suffolk County Legislator Steve Flatterin, and Assemblyman Gandolfo for coming to show their support to our veterans. I'd like to call up now Supervisor Carpenter to say a few words.
Thank you so much, Congressman Garbarino. Andrew, for doing this, for working with the AMVETS Post and pulling this incredible ceremony together. I don't think there's a member of Congress that works harder for our veterans than Andrew does, so we thank you for that. I'm really honored to be here for the National 50th Anniversary Commemoration of the Vietnam War and share in the importance of recognizing the service, sacrifice, and contributions of our soldiers and their families, to whom so much recognition is long overdue. A lack of strong public and institutional support for these servicemen upon returning home demonstrates a failure on our nation to fulfill the promise to back our brave soldiers and patriots. May this ceremony today, like many like it across the nation, serve as a step toward rectifying that mistake, to provide these veterans, our veterans, and their families with the recognition they so richly deserve, and to remember and pay tribute to all U.S. Armed Forces personnel, including those held as prisoners of war, listed as missing in action, or those whose contributions were made on the home front. On behalf of the entire community, the town of Islip, and our nation, we thank you for your service. We thank you for your sacrifice. God bless. And thank you, Andrew.
Thank you, Angie. Now I'd like to call up New York State Assemblyman Gandolfo to say a few words.
Thank you, Congressman. First, I'll say it's an honor to be here today as part of this ceremony with all of you. You truly are some of our nation's heroes. And what Supervisor Carpenter just said about the failure of a nation to provide a support system, I just want to share a personal anecdote. I have an uncle, William Gandolfo. He served in Vietnam. He came home, and due to no support system, either socially or governmentally, he developed a substance abuse problem, and he ended up dying from an overdose because he turned to drugs to cope with what he saw over there and what he went through. So I never got to meet my uncle because of that government failure. Thankfully, we've come a long way since then. Socially, we appreciate and respect our veterans so much more. And unfortunately, our Vietnam veterans did not have that when they returned home. And we have people like Congressman Garbarino who work every single day to improve our support system for our veterans, and we're thankful for that. So again, thank you so much for your service. I really look up to all of you. I honestly don't feel worthy to even be in this room with you. So thank you again. This is a well-deserved recognition.
And now I'd like to call up Suffolk County Legislator Steve Flattering.
Thank you. Again, I do want to really echo what all my colleagues have said, but Congressman Garbarino, thank you for bringing us all together today. This is something that really needed to be done 50 years ago, but thank you for getting that much further. All I can tell you, everyone here, is my commitment. I think some of you have gotten to know me, is I think one of our biggest responsibilities now that you put your lives at risk, your friends' lives, and some never made it back. It's our job is to help support you and your family, and I try to do that every day, and working with great colleagues like I have right next to me. The world's looking a little brighter, and today was a good start to it. So thank you, God bless you, and thank you for everything you've ever done for our country.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now I'd like to invite Colonel Bill Stradmeider to speak. Oh, I was going to say, where'd he go? Where'd he go?
Hello, everyone. I'm retired colonel, but not yet expired, Bill Stradmeider. If you come to one of our ceremonies, and I know a lot of you have, you're accustomed to seeing me strutting my stuff in my uniform, which still fits me 27 years later. My wife keeps reminding me, says, Bill, you don't need to wear those full Colonel Bull rank on your pajamas anymore. But I keep doing it. I'm the face of the Long Island Air Force Association. Fred DeFabio, which we all know and love, is a mover and a shaker. Fred was a staff sergeant when he separated from the Air Force. So here we have a colonel working for the sergeant. But it was back in 1954 when the French government lost the colony formerly known as the French Indonesia. It was that colony was divided up into the two countries of North Vietnam and South Vietnam. North Vietnam was a communist regime, and we supported the French and the South Vietnamese. We got involved in 1955. We were there 1955 to 1975, 20 years. And it was not the best of times for us in America. During those 20 years, 15 million soldiers served in all the military throughout those 20 years. 2.7 million soldiers, very young people, put their lives on hold, left their families, their girlfriends, their jobs behind, to go fight communism half a world away. And 2.7 million, over 58,300 now, soldiers perished in Vietnam. Their names are inscribed on the Vietnam Memorial. If you haven't been there, you need to go and see it. You know, and you think of this, of that amount, 33,000 soldiers were 18 when they gave up their lives, supporting our national interests half the world away. There were over 300,000 Purple Hearts, soldiers who were wounded during the Vietnam conflict. There was 204 Medal of Honors awarded, and unfortunately 153 of those were awarded posthumously. It's estimated that 2/3 of the Vietnam veterans are perished. They're no longer with us. If you talk to Fred Skank at the Long Island State Veterans Home, he'll tell you that typically during the World War II veteran would enter the home at an average age of 85. He'll tell you today the average Vietnam soldier enters their home at 75. They're being interned 10 years sooner than a World War II veteran. And I mean, for lots of reasons, certainly. I mean, Vietnam created new terms we didn't hear of before. Conscientious objector, Agent Orange, PTSD. It was PTSD's with us forever. World War I was called shell shock. But these are new terms. And so many veterans are fighting that war today with with cancers from Agent Orange, all kinds of different cancers, PTSD issues. You know, not just Vietnam, but 20 veterans take their lives today, each and every day in our country. We need to protect, we need to honor all our veterans. Vietnam had tremendous press coverage like no other conflict prior to that. Walter Cronkite would bring the war home to our living rooms. We could see the horror of war right on TV each and every night. It turned Americans against us. We were killing students. American soldiers, National Guard troops, were killing students at Kent State. What were we doing? And so, as a nation, we turned against the Vietnam veteran, against all veterans. You did not come home to a hero's welcome. You were scorned for your service. You were called baby killer. You wouldn't be caught outside wearing your uniform. And our country was unable to separate the war from the warrior. So that's why this pin is given to anybody. You didn't have to serve in Vietnam, because you were just as disrespected, you were scorned for being in the military. And this is an attempt by the Department of Defense. In 2008, the National Defense Authorization Act authorized the Secretary of Defense to create a program to commemorate the 50th anniversary of Vietnam. And they did that by establishing this sponsorship program. Our association, the Long Island Air Force Association, is a commemorative sponsor. Each sponsor decides, New York City is a commemorative sponsor. Each sponsor decides how it is they will honor Vietnam veterans. And we do one medal at a time. We minted a medal that we had to submit to the Department of Defense for their approval. And today we've had 37 or 36? 36 ceremonies, and we have awarded 1,100 Vietnam medals. If you don't have it and want to get one of our medals, we have applications over our table there. Well, there's Ken is wearing what the medal looks like around his neck right now. We'd be delighted to honor you. We have to seize every opportunity we can to honor our veterans. So, well, thank you so much. I will turn it back to the Congressman, and we'll proceed.
Thank you, Colonel. Colonel made a great point about how we have to honor our veterans, and we haven't done enough. Down in Washington, we did just pass the Honor Our Pact Act, and it's being signed in to help with some of the diseases and exposures that our veterans faced. But again, it's still not enough, and you have my word. As long as I'm in Congress, I will do everything possible to make sure that you are paid back for the sacrifice for all those years ago. So thank you very much. And now it is my privilege to present these Vietnam heroes with the commemorative lapel pin on behalf of the United States of America Vietnam War Commemoration as a lasting memento of the nation's thanks, along with this Congressional Certificate of Recognition. When Colonel Stradmeider calls your name, please come forward to receive your pin and your certificate. Thank you.
Louis Andreu, United States Army. Clapping is highly encouraged. Louis is not here. John Berger, United States Marine Corps. How about a Frank Caputo, United States Army? I know he's here. Fred DeFabio, United States Air Force. Okay. He's on the list later. Bart Hercio, United States Army. Dan Durati, United States Air Force. Peter Gong, United States Air Force. To the family of Patrick Halpin, United States Army. John Heslin, United States Navy. John Johannesson, United States Marine Corps. Bob Knockenhauer, United States Army. Daniel Cosin, United States Navy. Sonny Maxon, United States Army. Yes, I can't skip him because he's not here. Salvatore Napolitano, United States Air Force. Paul Rivera. Richard Normandin, United States Marine Corps. Rivera. He's here. Albert Norton, United States Air Force. Family of Joseph Rogecki, United States Army. Skinto's next. Joseph Skinto, United States Coast Guard. Okay. John Sherbach, Army National Guard. William Stradmeider, United States Air Force. John Tassalosa, Lucis, whatever, U.S. Army, sorry. Mark Wolf, United States Navy. Is he Patriot Guard or American Legion Rider? Mark, I forget. The following individuals are kind of like last-minute add-ons, so while they receive the pins, they may not get a certificate today. You will receive your certificate in the mail. And more add-ons. Okay. All right, then I passed up Fred Luca. I believe you're here now, United States Air Force. George Paloha, United States Air Force. Raymond Cirio, United States Army. The son of Charles Ward, U.S. Coast Guard and Marine. Richard Vaughn, United States Navy. Raymond Meyer, United States Air Force. Fred Vetter, United States Air Force. Yes. Hector Guzman, United States Army. Harold Rudolph, United States Marine Corps. Brought back by popular demand. Leonard Devlin, United States Army. Daniel Goodrich, United States Army. Robert Nathan, United States Army. Joe Vasquez, United States Army. Daniel Bergen, United States Navy.
Yeah, lunchtime.
Walter Green, United States Marine Corps. Figure out what this is. Anthony Zeppia, United States Army. Joe Bowit is accepting on behalf of Buddy Cohen, United States Navy.
There you go. These people were on the original list.
He's gonna get one too, so we gotta call him back up so he can get his own.
Charles Gross, United States Marine Corps.
The guy who just called up, he was also getting one for himself, and his name's John, so can we call him back up?
John Zappia?
Yeah, but wait until you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whoever just accepted for Buddy.
Yeah, it catches his last thing. Well, just call John back up.
Zappia, right?
John, yeah. Just call John back up. He's not on the list?
Back by popular demand, second time, John, United States Army. Robert Harold, United States Air Force.
How many more you got?
That's it.
Okay. These people were scheduled.
All right, that's everybody on my list, but let me go through these in case we overlook somebody, because we have certificates for them. We expect the individuals here. It was John Rossetti. All right. United States Navy.
Supposed to be here, and I'll give you those.
A Master Chief? Damn, you wear your rank on your uniform, on your pajamas too?
Cregan is sitting on the corner.
Okay.
Yeah, we got
How about a John Cregan? Okay. Did Dan Durati arrive?
Dan Dorati is the next one.
Albert Norton. Harold Rudolph. Wait a minute.
There you go.
There you go.
Thank you very much.
Frank Caputo. John Berger. And Luis Andreu. Anybody here who was not called?
identify yourself and step forward. An Army guy. And his name is Frank Pearl. Fred Pearl.
We'll add you to the list. Anybody else? I've outlived my usefulness, Congressman.
Great job. Thank you so much.
That was wonderful, thank you.
Yeah, sure. Once we're done.
We'll do it over there in front of everybody.
Yes. One of the press asked if we can get a collective picture.
Yeah, we'll get one over at the end. So as I said, honoring veterans is one of the greatest parts of my job as a member of Congress, and I'm sure my colleagues in government would all say the same thing. So today was a very special day. It was a small token of thanks for your sacrifice, for your family's sacrifice. It'll never be enough, but I have to say again, thank you all for your service. God bless you, and God bless America. Thank you, everyone, for coming. Another round of applause for our veterans.